Food for thought. Create something that you love. Create something that you even like. Do something that you can look back upon and think it's kind of cringy, and then look at the present work that you've done and see how far you've come. It is a value and something so precious to be able to see how far you've come. It doesn't have to be a work of art. It doesn't have to be something humongous. It could be as small as reading a book, reading the pages day by day, week by week, month by month. Or it could be journaling about your day, journaling about gratitude, journaling about what you're feeling, what your hopes and your aspirations are. Or it could be a painting, something that you can do, and bit by bit, you can see progression. It is such kind of like an added little touch, an added little sprinkle to the cake, to the cupcake, whatever you want to say. It's the cherry on top of the cake, or cupcake, ice cream, your favorite thing. To be able to look back and see that you've made it. And I think the easiest way in the moment to give yourself an outside perspective is to do something current that's permanent. That's a physical representation of an object, in a sense of something that you personally can do, can write, can draw, can read, can give of yourself onto something else. I kind of took it as a YouTube channel in doing this, and I can look back and see how far I've come and everything that has come in between, and all you guys have joined along the way. I didn't do it really from an outward perspective of that. I did it because I just wanted to do something else at school and wasn't very happy. But obviously I've gotten happier doing this. But I don't know, I think I've really connected with doing this. And I hope that you can find a connection as well with something that you really enjoy. I also just really enjoy journaling. It's something small, and I like to do it at the end of the day, and talk about what I did, what happened, and just the good parts from the perspective of gratitude. And then also the crummy stuff, the crummy things. But it's just a little bit of added, dang, I made it. When I read my entry journals from a few months ago, and I was in the thick of it, and I was very sick of it, of school and the pressure. But it just makes me appreciate now. And seeing that was absolute misery, but I still continued. And I don't know what stage in life you are in, but I think you could maybe find some closure in realizing that you are pouring your heart and soul where you currently are. I don't know what you're going through, what you've been through, what you will go through, but I think it is valuable to be able to create something that is genuinely authentic to you and your current version that you're proud of. Because it's kind of like a gift to your future self that you don't know is a gift. Because I started journaling when I was in middle school and younger, and I wrote the dates down, or they faded. And I tried reading, in the moment, I knew exactly what I was saying and exactly what I was doing and thinking and feeling. And then when I go back and I try to read that stuff, some of it is, 1, very unlegible, 2, very faded, or 3, I just can't read my handwriting. But it just takes me back to when I was, to where I was, to who I was, to what I was feeling. And I see that in that moment, my world was crumbling. I was also in the thick of it, but in a different degree. And I can look back. I don't know what I was trying to say. I can look back and see how far I've come and know that that too did pass. And nothing is to say that in this moment, right now, whatever I'm feeling, good or bad or ugly or in between, that I can still make it through. There's this really, it's so cliche, so cliche, but so true. The song by Kelly Clarkson, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Don't know, I know it's like a lyric. I don't know the song, but it is so true. And it's hard, but it's so true. And that's where resilience comes in. And that system of belief that you can and you will and you did. Because it just takes you out of the present in a good way. It does. Creating it, I mean like creating something, just creating anything, creating something good, creating something that you're proud of. Because I just feel like it's so beautiful to look back at what you were doing and you were like, I'm just trying to figure this out right now. I'm just trying to pour my heart and soul into something else. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just living. I'm just being a human. And when you can move forward and you can continue through that moment of that unknown, and then you're out of the thick of it and you're into a different thick of it, into a different woods, or into a different section of the woods is what I'm trying to say. It is, I think it's not bittersweet, because you definitely don't want to go back to that bitter part, but rather it's so sweet to see that you were your authentic self, that you were you, that you talked about your feelings in your journal, that you talked about what was going on in that video, where you drew about how you were feeling, whether you were reading and you remember that space that you were in. You remember that book on that shelf. You remember that chair over there. You remember that older person over there in that library. You remember drinking your coffee. Everything and anything can bring you back to that moment, and then you're so much more grateful to be where you are. And I think that comes from the sense of gratitude. That when you count your blessings, you can change your life. And it's wild. It's 110% wild to think that you can change your mind just thinking about the blessings. Because when, I feel like, I'm not gonna say you, because I don't know how you work, but at least for me, when I'm having like a really bad day, I'm so in my head. I'm overthinking about the future, the past. Overthinking is my middle name when I'm having a bad day. And a few things that like snap me out of it are like going to the gym, going for a walk, hanging out with my friends, like yada, 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 yada. But it's taking myself out of my own head and taking a deep breath and realizing what and where I am and what is around me. And I honestly have to tell myself, Emma, where are you? Who are you with? What are you doing? And that sometimes snaps me out, sometimes it doesn't, but it just takes a moment to realize all the blessings that you have around you. Yes, you could burn your toast. Yes, you could have so many tragedies happen to you. And I'm not going to discount those, because no one deserves to have a tragedy happen, but it is life. But what we can do, what we do have control of, is counting our blessings. And it really does rewire your brain just to see the good in everything. That you can say hi to that person you walk by, say good morning, say how are you. And you just spreading joy helps you feel joy. And I think that joy that you can do for yourself is to create something that I don't want to say you have been called to do, but that maybe you've been wanting to do for a while, but you don't want others to judge you. And it's hard. Trust me, it's hard. It's so hard to think about what other people think and what other people think about you. But they don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're experiencing. They don't know the ins and outs of your life. And who cares if they judge you? All that genuinely matters is what you are doing, what you're creating, what you're reading, what you are channeling within yourself is making you happy. That is literally all that matters in the world. That you can find places, reasons, and ways to be happy. Because that's the only way you're going to be happy is through yourself. And finding the things that you enjoy, finding those little pockets of peace. And everyone has their own pocket of peace. You might have the same ones, but in a different way. You might like to read horror, or someone else might like to read nonfiction. But it's what you want to do. It's what you want to create. It's about what you do and that you are proud about. Food for thought.